Every time before I would write an exam, I would be intensely stressed, even if I was studying the whole night before. And that isn't because I have some chronic stress disorder. No, quite frankly, the second I stop writing the test, I'm fine. I'm chilled out. So the problem is that I stress way too much over exams. Why do I stress though? The reason why I and you too stress is because you leave the things for the last minute. Basically, you always know what you should do. You know what you should be studying for. You know where to find those materials and how to learn. You just don't do it. And me neither, bro. I also like to procrastinate. I also leave things for the last minute, and studying is something that you have to do certain amount of repetitions to have this kind of, sense of belief, sense of confidence. Because when you just study for like an hour or two right before the exam, you have it kind of, you remember some things, you forget some things. It's not ideal. And you like this confidence part. But if you just learn for it, if I would just take a few days even before the exam and I looked at the material basically every day, I would have it basically repeated on my mind. And I could, just like that, ace the exam with no stress needed. Who am I? I'm Martin. I have never got a worse grade than a B at the end of the school year, which basically means that I've always gotten uh, honors and at the end of the year. I don't study really much. I every time that I bring my uh, grade list back, my parents ask me, "How do you get such good grades without really studying? We never see you study." I don't really study that much because I use these systems that enable me to have more free time while still keeping the grades high. This is such a powerful thing to have. And I think that you can agree to. Because imagine that, let's say, for example, right now you're getting B's, C's, maybe some A's, but and you don't really like studying that much. But if you just use these systems, your grades would actually improve while lowering your stress, lowering the time that you spend studying. Of course, there will always have to be some kind of time investment for you to actually use these systems, but these will greatly improve your time in school. Since you're going to be getting better grades than the nerds, while still having your time. And so they might spend hours upon hours of learning while you spend 1 hour most on each exam. Now, if that is something that you're actually interested in, go to the link in the description and check out a course that I made just for you, man. Just for people like us who don't really like studying, but we kind of have to. And it really does help to know how to study because no one teaches us how to actually study. Everyone says, yeah, just study harder. But you haven't really even thought about the most efficient way to study. So how could you study harder? I mean, you can always do the slave hours. No one wants to do that more. Trust me. No one wants to do that. So we need to work smarter. And while we improve the efficiency, you can also increase the hours, which will gradually increase the grade that you're going to get. Now, the one technique that I would tell you to use is to use AI, bro. Start using artificial intelligence in your studying sessions. Let me explain. Right now, you're probably learning in a way where you take your notes and you start reading them. Maybe you summarize some concepts and you visualize how they look. That's great, that's nice. There are better ways to do that. One of the few ways is to take all the notes, throw them into an AI, and tell him, generate me a bunch of questions, and under each question, generate an answer. Now you go through the list of the questions as if you were on a test. You take the question, you write down the answer, compare it, and you repeat this. You repeat it until you already know all the answers. Here's one part though, one important part. You need to actually think hard about it. It's the pain, the mental fatigue that you experience. When you experience it, you know that's the sign that your mind is going to remember it more. So get on each topic the list, basically the topic. Take your notes, throw them into AI, generate a bunch of questions, and repeat it again and again. Trust me, bro, just try it, it will work. Another thing is, you can teach that subject to a friend. You maybe have some friends who are interested in the topic that you're going to be writing in tests. And he's going to be asking you a bunch of questions. You will need to obviously answer him. This is a great way to find your blind spots. If you are having any kind of a blind spot in the topic, you will recognize it. You will find it very fast, bro. Trust me. And like I've said, if you want even more tricks, and trust me, bro, there is so much more in this topic of studying less and getting higher grades. Go to the link in the description and check it out. Also subscribe.